This is a Guinness stout. Now, putting a stout in a chocolate cake recipe sounds like it could go badly wrong. But we're going to find out if Guinness adds something special to chocolate or it's just a bit strange. Today we're going to put Nigella Lawson's Guinness chocolate cake recipe to the test. Let's get started. Now, I love a good chocolate cake, and I'm always looking for a new recipe. And when I go out and order a chocolate cake, I'm always disappointed. So I find I can do it better at home. So Guinness may sound like it's an unusual ingredient, but cocoa and Guinness have some things in common. Sort of that rich roast flavor, its darkness, bit of bitterness. So it should complement it. So it makes a bit of sense. So we're going to get started here by measuring out the Guinness. And then we're going to add it to our pot. We're going to warm it slowly and melt our butter. That is our first task. Got our Guinness measured out. That's half a liter. No, excuse me. That's a quarter of a liter of Guinness. And the rest of the ingredients: unsalted butter, cocoa, sugar, vanilla, 2 eggs, sour cream, flour, and baking soda. So I'll get this on. Start that on low, and I'm just going to add in our Guinness. And bit by bit, I think I'm going to use a whisk. Just going to add in our butter just to melt it. Now, we don't want this to boil. We just want to be able to melt the butter into it. So I'll do a bit at a time. And that is a good half a pound of butter that's going to go into this Guinness. And I have to tell you, it doesn't sound tasty. It doesn't sound good. I don't know. So we'll just continue to melt that slowly and just whisk that together. Okay, as that starts to melt, I'm going to add a couple more pieces of butter into that. Until we get that all incorporated. This is the most glamorous part of this recipe. And you may know Nigella Lawson is the domestic goddess. I think that's what she's called. Well, I'm no goddess, but I'm going to follow her recipe. I've got it right here. And after this is melted, we're going to add our sugar and our cocoa, and we're just going to whisk that in. It doesn't look good, I can tell you that. You know, it's always fun to try a new recipe, and I'm really hoping this is going to turn out to be a very good chocolate cake. It's bound to be moist, that's for sure, with all this stout. It's turning a beautiful color, though. Okay, our butter is melted, and Nigella says this is the point you whisk in the sugar and your cocoa. So I'm just going to add that all at once and whisk that in. And I'm going to turn that off. I don't think it needs to be on the heat any longer. Well, I can tell you it smells chocolatey. It really smells great. And it's looking very rich. Okay, that looks like it's combined. And the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to use this jug, add in our vanilla, our eggs, and our sour cream. And I'm just going to beat that together. Let's get every bit of that sour cream out. There we go. And I'm just going to beat that together to combine it. And into the pot it goes. I mean, this is really a simple recipe. So I'm hoping for a good result. Now you should have preheated the oven to 180 degrees Celsius, 170 fan, 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And so let's just get that whisked in before adding our flour and bicarbonate of soda, baking soda. So I'm going to add that in to the flour and just stir that with my fingers before adding that into our batter. And that is it. Now this is a fairly loose batter by the looks of it. I want to get it smooth before we add it to our tin. I've lined a springform pan. I've buttered and lined it. I've lined it with parchment, bottom and sides, and it's in the fridge chilling. Now you know I like to chill my pan before I add batter. I just find it makes for a better cake. And we are after a better cake. So, okay. That is looking pretty good. So I'll just get our, just checking her recipe. Just get the tin. Give that a final stir before we add it to our prepared pan. Looks pretty good. And I think I will switch to our spatula. Just scrape down the sides before adding it into our pan. That is a very thin batter. So this will bake for 45 to 60 minutes, so up to an hour. And we've worked hard on this. I want every drop. Well, it's not been hard, really. It really looks rich and beautiful. Spit a little on the countertop. A lot of sugar in that. There's no bitterness. So in that goes into our oven. I'll check it at 45 minutes, up to 60 minutes. And then we'll bring it out and we'll see what it looks like. It's time to get our cake out of the oven. These gloves on. Well, it sort of sank in the middle. Well, you know what? I hope it tastes better than it looks. So while that's cooling, we'll get started on the frosting. I have cream cheese, whipping cream, powdered sugar, and cornstarch. First thing I want to do is just to blend the cream cheese until it's smooth. There, now that's smooth. Added in all of our powdered sugar and our cornstarch goes in. And I'm just going to blend that until that's incorporated. Now there's no flavoring in this whatsoever. So what I'm going to do is switch beaters and whip our cream. I'll start off slowly.
That's just coming into soft peaks now.
So what I want to do, don't want to waste any of that. Just get a little into our whipped cream. Get a little into our cream cheese, rather. And we're just supposed to stir that together to loosen it a bit. And we'll add the rest and fold it in. So just fold that in gently. And that really is all there is to the frosting. So once the cake is completely cool, we will ice it. In the meantime, this will just go in the fridge and wait. Well, our cake has completely cooled, so it's time to get the frosting on. And I think I have enough frosting that I can fill in the divot. So this just goes on the top, and it's supposed to simulate the foam that you would get on a head of Guinness. So let's get it on there. And got a little turntable here, which helps. So this doesn't have to be perfect, but I think I will just run my scraper around the sides, just to even that up. Well, there we have it. And I'm going to transfer it to a dish. To a serving platter. Oh, and it is moist. It's definitely moist. I think the contrast with the very dark cake and the very creamy frosting does a lot. Just gonna clean the plate up a bit. It's time to cut it. Maybe, well, let's get a decent sized piece. Cuts well. Okay. Let's see what it looks like. That looks really dense and moist. Get it on the plate. Mm. You know, I think the malt that you find in the stout really has complemented the chocolate well. Well, I can't wait any longer. Okay, let's put it down. Let's have a taste. That is excellent. The cream cheese frosting really sets it off. Nigella, I'm going to hand it to you. This is a knockout. Well, if you enjoyed today's recipe, please give us a thumbs up. Remember, subscribe to the channel. It's free. And ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single delicious recipe. And finally, please share this video with your friends and help build our community. And if you see a hype button, please hype me. It really does help the channel out. Until next time, bye-bye. Oh, this deep, dark chocolate, the contrast, the flavor. Making this again.